What's going on, everybody? Doc, your average gamer guys, back again. More Magic the Gathering Arena, jumping into a premier remix draft of artifacts. This is pretty interesting. Haven't seen this before. Kind of excited. Really interesting set of cards here in this card pool, and kind of curious to see what we can rip and ship in this one, just with everything that's in here. So if you're not familiar with the channel, welcome. We're gonna jump into this, and how we do this is we'll do the draft, we'll put a deck together, we'll showcase what we got, we'll go over quick just how we built the deck and some thought process there, then we'll jump into a game or two. There might be a second episode if we have a good run here and get a pretty decent deck of what we end up putting together. So we're gonna jump in, and this could be pretty interesting. I'm excited about this. I saw this and I said, hey, this would be pretty neat. Should give this a go and see how this shapes up. I think this is kind of an interesting thing to open up some additional cards from some additional sets. And I will tell you that with Explorer, with the Explorer challenge that went on, I don't know, week ago or so, weekend ago, whatever it was, we actually jumped into that and was kind of interesting to see what we're able to get here. So yeah, it could be really interesting. We have to kind of take a look because I'm not super familiar with a lot of these cards. That's cool. The Glutton. I actually really kind of like this idea. We could copy target artifact spell. Return them, bounce them, copy them. Graven Inspector would be pretty good. That little owl would be kind of neat too. See if that comes back around. Ooh, the bobble. I kind of want to make a modular deck. I might do that. I have to look for things that would help. That could be kind of interesting. Ooh, Ancestral Blade seems pretty good. Okay, destroy target artifact or enchantment. We're going to take that. Razortide Bridge would be nice for us. I'm going to take Disenchant, though. Instant speed, artifact destruction. I think we need that. Got a Razortide Bridge here. Ooh, he could fit in if we're going to do a little bit of a... He could fit in as long as we're going to look for any kind of modular action. That could be kind of cool. Can't be blocked by artifact creatures? That's kind of crazy. I'm going to take Recommission, actually. Getting some recursion here. Glorifier of Suffering, again, could be really cool. Exile target creature, then Proliferate. White seems to be pretty open for us. I'm going to take that. We want to have some... At least some removal. This is not great removal in the slightest. It's a exile at sorcery speed We do get to proliferate, so if we do go the modular route, we can bump up our creatures. I think that'd be kind of cool. Again, I think having this guy is kind of interesting to that. Ornithopter. Red seems to be kind of open as well. I kind of like the 4 Mirrodin option. It's an expensive one. We're not really set here on blue. So we could go into a different color. Honestly, I'm just going to take the Hamlet Glutton. Maybe we could work green here. If we wanted to go that route. Green looks to be really open as well. Okay, that could actually kind of work with our... That could work with our plan here. Sure. See what else we pick up here. I'm not super sold on our other color. Okay. You may tap an untapped artifact you control if you do draw a card, create 2. I mean, like, this is like an insta-grab. It's interesting. Oh, Candy Grapple. That would be good too. White has been pretty open. She's so good. I don't know what to do here. I like creating the creatures. I mean, that's a 2/2. That's pretty good. Why would you not take this? How does this get to me? It's a 7/7 trample. It enters the battlefield tapped and doesn't untap during your untap step, and only untaps when you cast a historic spell, which is all artifacts. Okay. Juggernaut. Look at that. That's cool. We need some mana fixing here. We're going to get out of green. Wow. I don't even care if it has affinity for equipment. We have some equipment too. Raven would have been good. We need to look for some mana fixing, but that is a good... It's a really good removal spell. Scrapwork Mutt is pretty good. I don't know. Why would I not play these? We also have affinity for artifacts. I'm taking the land. He could be really good. Dude, Welding Sparks is so good. I really want the Rustvale Bridge, but I want these removal spells. Even for splashing red, just for the removal spells, I feel like it makes sense. Want the Pirate Hat instead. I don't know that we play that, but this becomes a 4/3 with Vigilance, which isn't bad. I'm taking this, actually. Secrets of the Key could be really interesting, because for the ability to flashback, essentially get 2 additional clue tokens, I kind of like that. Well, we said we wanted to go modular. We're going to do that. Arcbound Slasher, why not? Sure. We're in blue. Put a stun counter on it. That's really good. What do we got here? Wow. Can't be blocked this turn? That's cool. This guy's really good too. I'm gonna take the rogue. Yeah, I'm taking the Mer Enforcer because Affinity for Artifacts is insane. That's really cool. I don't know. Disenchant. I feel like removal. We got to have some good removal in this. This feels like this could be... It's going to be really hard to tell how slow this draft is going to be. Obviously, certain decks are going to go one way or the other, but... Wow, you could do it a lot with that card. This could be some mana fixing. I'm going to take the Phyrexian Revoker, though. Even if we don't end up playing it. Iron Apprentice kind of fits into our plan. But I like the ability... I like the ability to investigate. I like Plated Onslaught, but I just don't know that that fits. I'm gonna take the Pirates as well. We have a couple of those. I kind of like this. What is this? The Veil of Assumption is actually pretty good. I'm gonna take this. Can be some main. That's cool. I like that. I like that Thopter. Not a bad Thopter. I don't know, Brute Suit, I guess. Probably not something we'll end up playing. I actually feel like this would be more beneficial to us. I doubt that we play it. That could actually help us. There could be some interesting things that happen with that card. This has been a very, very interesting draft. Very interesting. So this is what we're sitting on here. We didn't really get to go as hard into the modular as I was hoping. We got a couple of creatures that could do that. We got a couple of things that could fit around that. I mean, the glorifiers are pretty cool. So we have a little bit of options for that, but we are very heavy in the realm of artifacts, which I think is good. Having a Mirror Enforcer is kind of cool. A couple of these equipments that we have, the ability to actually bounce those is pretty interesting with Drafna that I wasn't thinking about, for us to be basically be able to reset the creatures. And then I feel like Saheeli could be really, really, really strong, but Traxos also very, very strong, considering we're going to be playing lots of artifacts and some legendaries. So that could be pretty interesting. So we're definitely going to stick with the white, blue, and red theme here. We'll put a deck together, and we'll see you in a second when that's done. Okay, I think this is where we are going to land. We have a what feels like it could be a very, very solid deck, which also could just absolutely not perform well at all. So we'll have to see how this ends up doing. We do have a little bit of the modular going on with a couple of creatures. Nothing crazy there. Kind of moved away from that perspective, but I do think those are pretty good creatures, and that does allow us, if we have a decent board presence, to at least maintain some value in between. That's where, again, I think modular comes in pretty big and can be really helpful. We obviously are heavy in artifacts and different things that we're going to do with artifacts. The nice part ends up being, again, is we have a couple of pieces of equipment that essentially give us either the 4 Mirrodin or give us some creatures. We have a good ability to create some creatures as well, whether those be Thopter tokens or others. We can copy things. We have some easy or interesting ways to bring in artifacts, either from our hand or from different sources, and we can do some targets as well. The main game plan here will be get one of these bigger bombs, either Traxos, Arcbound Slasher, Mirror Enforcer, onto the battlefield to stick, and then see if we have a way to copy them, such as with Drafna here, or even Mycosynth Gardens, to be able to do that. So we have a little bit of flying. We have some decent removal to disenchant, which I do like. We have Recommission to pull some things back if we want to do that. We do have Rebel Salvo, we have Welding Sparks, and we did keep the Wanderer Strike. So we have a couple of good ways to interact here, and I'm feeling pretty good. The one concern or one thought I have had, and I'm not sure, we can test this out, but Waylaying Pirates seems like it could be very, very strong for us. 3/3 body and for 4 mana, that we should almost always be able to make sure that we are able to put a stun counter on it. I just don't know how impactful that's going to be overall for our game plan. So here's how we stack up. We are at a 3 average. That's brought up by a couple of things. Really, Myr Enforcer really isn't going to cost us 7 to cast. You might notice that we only have 10 creatures and 14 non-creatures, but keep in mind that 2 Ancestral Blade and this Amirin are going to be able to create creatures for us. In addition to that, that has some unique synergies with Drafna here, where we can bounce our own artifact back to our hand and then populate it back down. With 4 mana, we could essentially be doing that Ancestral Blade and making a bunch of 1/1s on the battlefield if these guys go unchecked for a little while. So pretty interested to see how this goes. Here's how we're setting up for mana. Hopefully we're in a good spot to be able to do that. Decent mix, I think, so we should be okay there. Mycosynth can help us to fix a little bit, but obviously we'll need our 3 colors to be impactful here, and we can see how this will do. On to the games we go. Okay, as we get started here, an absolute awesome roll in. I mean, 1, 2, 3, we have all 3 colors. We couldn't hope for, honestly, much better here. I think we go Thraben Inspector here. Get a clue token. Got Rebel Salvo if we want to go that way, which we're going to be able to drop down from Ancestral Blade in our next turn if we want to go that route. Can get the Gold Warden's Helm here quickly. Present a nice blocker here for the 1/2. 2/1. So the question is how do we want to establish here? I think we got to get our red mana down. We can then also play Arcbound here. Yeah, we'll go no attacks. Pass the turn. Setting up for our mana. I don't know if that was the right play there. We could have done Island, went Ancestral Blade, got the creature, got the +1/+1 if we wanted to go that route. That would have made Rebel Salvo open up a little bit quicker for us. The difference now is that we can play... We're just going to take the 2 damage. I'm really not too concerned from that perspective. If they missed their land drop... Oh, they didn't. I'd say that could have been something that we could take a look at. The nice part here is we have the way to throw Arcbound. We could also attack with Thraben and see if they'll block. They went to a similar strategy that we did. This is going to be a very interesting game, I think. It's going to be very, very interesting. Ooh, I almost feel like we do Johora here, and then we can start really doing some things. We might take some early damage here, but leaving her unchecked. She essentially is going to be Ancestral Blade for free for us. I think, just again, we saw a very small selection of the card pool. I think what decks are going to struggle with in this format, card pool, whatever we saw, is maybe just difficulty with removing creatures, right? And again, her ability to go unchecked here might be the difference, right? We're going to be able to essentially, potentially, if she stays unchecked, we're going to be able to 2-spell for sure next turn. Tapping her down really doesn't bother us too much. Probably trying to force in some blocks here. I think maybe we just go there, potentially take the 4. That seems fine. There's no reason we wouldn't block with Raven Inspector. If we lose the Inspector, it's fine. It is what it is. Yep, kind of had a feeling that was coming. Made sense. Nice attack. We'll activate. Submit that. Get a creature down. Then what's interesting, I'm feeling like we killed the flyer. I feel like we do this now. Just don't want thing coming up. Get in for a damage. Get a little life gain. A pad our total here, and then we have a nice big removal spell. I guess what I should have thought about potentially was blocking down the Arcbound just to get rid of their ability to gain life. I don't think I would have had any blocks. I was aware of this. I guess I could have double blocked, but then we would have been sacrificing our Arcbound and our Thraben Inspector, which doesn't feel great at this point, so... And the other thing that we can look to do is move Gold Warden's Helm to our Arcbound. We could also move our Ancestral Blade if we want to do that, and then really kind of put in, I would say, the pressure in terms of, you know, that would become a decently sized little creature there. They're taking their time. We went post. We're in second main phase now. Sacrifice the clue, draw a card. I'm not sure what they're doing here. Okay, that kind of opens up our possibilities here. All right, well. Question is now, what do we want to do? We could play our land here. Sacrifice our clue. Play our land. We could move the blade. This would take us 2, 3. Thinking we do move our Ancestral Blade here. This feels like a setup turn. Let's just set up here. We'll try to get in with our 2/2. We'll represent back to block. End a turn if we want, we can sacrifice the clue token. So what I don't want to do is I want to keep a decent body on the field. Kind of maximize what we're looking at here. We do have a really good... Holding Sparks will represent 7 damage at this point. 8 damage, because this is an artifact land. What do we got? 3, 4, 5. Yeah. That's a lot of damage to pump down. Sacrifice the clue to get rid of 1. That seems okay. Pretty interesting little board state we have here. Okay. What I'm thinking is we could attack with the Arcbound. Try to force some profitable blocks. Okay. Oh, we know what we're gonna Welding Sparks. All right. Maybe we don't. Gain some life. We'll see if they'll position the block. Really use their life as a resource here if they wanted. This will just pad our life total a little bit. That was a very timely disenchant. The clue token was excellent as well. Now the interesting thing is they may go to explore. I'm gonna keep the land because I don't think we need it at this point. Yeah. That was kind of a sellout play for them. I understand though why. $7-5, very, very strong. Again, I think keeping up very timely removal seems like it's going to be very important. Now, the next thing that we do, depending on how what they play, how they, manifest their mana here, is going to be keeping Welding Sparks up, essentially to try to kill Arcbound. That's really the thought process I have. We really haven't done much with Giora. What we could look to do is tap her again at the end of the turn here. We don't have anything that we would want to play. We haven't represented that. Okay. See what they target. Gonna take our Arcbound. That seems fine. Want to do anything here. Is now the time for Welding Sparks on their Arcbound? Probably not. Let's see what we draw here. That's a little unfortunate. Just make a big enough creature here. So my plan here could still be the same. I'm thinking about maybe attacking with the Rebel. They essentially could force a double block. Then we could Welding Sparks to kind of get the advantage here. I'm gonna do that. Put a little pressure on. That seems fine. So now if they do oversell into Arcbound, such as, you know, sacrificing this, getting it to explore, trying to make it bigger, moving Ancestral Blade potentially, just to push the life gain piece of it, which looks like that might be what they're thinking about doing. We can then essentially respond with Welding Sparks. Yeah, sure. Assuming they're going to go after Giora. Makes the most sense. Yep. Need another disenchant, honestly. Yep, get rid of the life gain. That makes sense. Put the modular token, that's fine. Keep that tapped down. Might as well get in here. Now we're just ripping off the top of the library. I'm keeping this island in case we get one of our spells that allows us to draw cards here. Really kind of hoping that we get an opportunity to find another way to get a little bit of advantage, potentially. This only gives it +1/+0, so essentially Waylaying Pirates stays solid as a blocker for us. Yep, Explorer, yep, makes sense. Gotta land. Yep. Can put that on there, make it a 3/2 if they want. Yep, seems fine. Attack. We'll position the block. Find trade with me. See what they have here. Back end. That is a fantastic creature. Get a 4/2. Ability to gain life is pretty good. Reason for us not to play this guy. What we do here is we do this. And what this then represents for us is we can double block and clear this battlefield if they choose to make a move here. We need some gas. We need something here. They have definitely done a better job of static net Citizen's Arrest, their removal was pretty effective against us. We haven't gotten profitable trades, but they've just gotten bigger bombs. We need one of our bigger spells. Saheeli right now would actually be really, really good. Be a few others that would be very, very helpful. We would have the mana to really do a few things. Make some respectable creatures here with some decent power toughness. They didn't draw an artifact. They did. Gosh dang it. Well, that's going to make this thing pretty big. I have to double block this as much as I don't want to. That really didn't change anything. Getting a lot of life there. We need something. Yeah, we're dead next turn if we don't get a creature or any type of removal spell. Yeah, I don't know. They found a removal spell. We're dead. Actually, Revoker was about the only thing we wouldn't have wanted. I need Saheeli, I think. That's probably the only way that I really get out of this. Oh, I should have named Barb Spike. And their activated abilities, so it really doesn't matter. Okay. Kind of interesting. Wow. Have to make the 1/1s. Then we definitely put this on one of these. That is insane. That was the pull of all pulls here. Unless they have a way to get rid of both Thopter tokens, we're not dead. Saheeli can really start to refill us too. So then we can scry. We can tap. We can tap one of the equipments. We can draw a card. We need a little bit of time. Honestly, this next draw being a removal spell, just to clear out a threat here, would be gigantic. There's no reason we don't do this. Okay. I can equip this, but if we get a removal spell, we're in such business here. let's do this first. Bottom. Oh boy. Okay, okay, okay. Hold on, hold on, hold on. A man here. Can we do this? Yes, we can. Drop it. Pull Gold Warden's Helm back. Oh, do we do that or do we do double Ancestral Blade? Double Ancestral Blade. So, Ancestral Blade. Boom. 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 We might be in business here. We might be in business here. The only artifact they have to sacrifice that won't hurt them is going to be the Power Stone. We need essentially 2 more turns. 2 or 3 more turns here with Saheeli. I don't see a reason why we don't just do the 1 block. I mean, we could throw the Thopter and the other soldier there. I don't think there's any pump spells that would happen. I mean, they could do on the job +2/+1. Oh, they could do that plus that. I think we just go here. Yep. Do I want this? I don't think that really helps me, but the card draw would be good. Trying to think why I don't just bounce both these Ancestral Blades. So let's see, hold on. Pay 2, bounce this. We keep the 1/1. A2 again, and then I can secrets. Yeah, I don't know why I wouldn't do that. Just to keep getting creatures, keep getting blockers. No attacks. This is a this is a wild game, and if we're able to stabilize here, this is going to be crazy. I think we forced this, actually. Force him to use the Power Stone. Right? Yep. Takes the option away. We kill this creature. Yep, he gets to put the modular 2 there. That's fine. I'm okay pulling a land here. Again, I think we have to stay on this plan. Hold on. Is there something else that would make sense here? We could pay 2 to bounce Gold Warden's Helm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 mana. 2, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think we do, because then this represents a bigger body for us. Feel like that was the right... I feel like that was a pretty good sequence, because now we essentially take down the Cutthroat from being able to attack. Unless, of course, they find another artifact or a creature that they can sacrifice. We can basically trade profitably here. We find a disenchant, this game's over. Well, it's not over. We still have to kill the opponent. However, we have a couple of options to draw some cards here. I mean, I don't know why I wouldn't do this. Let's just try. Again, force the sacrifice off some of its things, but that doesn't really help them. The other piece here with Sahelia is going to be This doesn't really help me, the artifact creatures. The artifact spells costing less also doesn't really help me. So honestly, I can make the 2/1/1s after this. Try to draw some cards because we'll have the blockers. I think this was a decent sequence, though, to get the extra bigger body in. Yeah, but see, that's a temporary thing, and you didn't need to do that just to keep this creature. And found more mana. I feel like we make the 2/1/1s. Maybe bounce both the Ancestral Blades and then try to do Stern Lesson here. Can we do it? 3. I'm a mana short. But again, we can double block, throw a token. Can basically just be pulling resources here. Is this at instant speed? It is. I think no, because we can draw the clue, the card off the clue. This is fine. We start chipping in for a little bit of damage here. Start punching them a little bit. We got 12 cards left. We then can create a series of flyers here. We could also start throwing the Ancestral Blades on these guys and start pumping in, really trying to slap for some damage. True Key will be finding a removal spell. So we're going to draw from the clue. Tap crack this thing. We'll see if they still keep attacking through with Cutthroat Centurion. But they're going to run out of profitable blocks or profitable attacks against us, because we can keep generating these creatures. Okay, now they do have a few creatures. Again, I don't see why we don't do this, right? They have to sacrifice one of these. They'll sacrifice the soldier. Pump it up. It's fine, but we're just keeping the battlefield clear, which is what we need to do. And we want to do that in the case that we do find one of our other removal spells to eliminate Cutthroat Centurion. Get rid of the 3/1. Why would they do that? Oh, they can unearth it. That makes sense. Which you can only unearth as a sorcery. You get to make a 1/1. Oh, they can unearth at the ah, that was smart. That was smart. That was smart. Can unearth as a sorcery. get a 3/1. It'll have haste. They get another 1/1. They can sacrifice the 1/1. That puts 3 attackers on the battlefield for them. That was smart. Yep, that was smart. See what they're doing. They're trying to represent a little bit more damage. Let's draw a card here. All right, I want to play the land. Let's do this. Let's just make sure. I hope that's right. What I'm thinking here, Stern Lesson, discard the mountain. We have the 7/7. It will trade profitably even if they unearth and sacrifice. Worst comes to worst, this ends up taking out a lot of resources. Or we chump block the Cutthroat and throw it in front of something else. At the end of turn, we can copy this guy. We can either draw or we can copy him. Yep. Now, I'm really curious to see if they have another one of these on the jobs. They would attack with everything if they did, I feel like. It seemed like the smartest thing to do. Trade down here. We kill this thing. It doesn't matter. But we don't sacrifice this guy. Chump block there. We can make the 1/1s. Funnel refuel. Sure. We can bring back an artifact or a creature. Could bring this in as a 5/5. I'm gonna make the 1/1s. We're down to 6 cards here. Three, 6, 9, 10. I don't need it to have haste. I need it to be a big body. And I can basically recur both Ancestral Blades here. We're going to attack with the Traxos, then we can untap him. Just the efficiency in mana here is been pretty dang good. What I'm thinking is playing this Mirren and then seeing if I can copy it. Should have done is done that with the Arcbound Slasher. How many cards do we have? We have 4 cards left. I don't really even want to draw off her anymore. But I mean, with duplicating 4 4s. What I misstepped here was not using him to copy Traxos. But I can copy this. Not going to block. Does that make sense? Oh, I didn't realize they're legendary. Oops. That was dumb. That was really dumb. Of all the things we've done, we have made some mistakes, but that one was pretty silly. I didn't realize this guy was legendary. What a game! Oh my gosh. What a game. The combo of Dranfa here with these Ancestral Blades was wildly good, and we stabilized purely off of the back of Saheeli. What a wild match. Again, Dranfa being so important for her ability to just bounce recursion creatures, blockers. Again, I think going backwards and thinking about a few things to improve, copying the Arcbound Slasher would have been really smart to make multiple 5/5s, essentially for an additional 3 mana that we did. We wouldn't have had a few of the extra creatures, but then we could have kept back maybe couple of the 1/1s to block. Having multiple 5/5s with modular on them were obviously huge. Also, getting in the attack with Traxos in lieu of doing that first before bringing an Arcbound Slasher, because we knew we were going to put the 1/1 counter on him, makes a lot of sense, so that we get the ability to untap. This essentially gets vigilance with how good of a creature this is and how many artifacts that we're running, and then just really probably using Dranfa at that point to copy the bigger spells like the Mirren, and a few of those things would have been some more consistent plays that we could have done. We could have relied on Saheeli essentially to create chump blockers. Nothing I think they would have that they would be able to play would be able to get trample or push through any last points of damage, so just keeping up a few additional blockers to help clear the way. Obviously, we have a commanding board presence as it stands here. I think trying to trade down with the Cutthroat also, I feel like that ended up being a pretty good play, because I feel like we tapped into a few resources that I don't know that would have changed the game, but we did make them sacrifice a handful of creatures throughout the course of this game, and or artifacts that potentially could have had an impact. So I'm very happy with that. That was a crazy first game. Feel pretty good about the deck, but that's only because we won on a we won on a nail biter there. So we will definitely be bringing another episode of this one. That was a very long game, but a absolute blast. I hope you enjoyed that. I am going to flash some socials, like, comment, subscribe. We do a lot with Magic the Gathering on the channel, So be sure to stay tuned, check out some other videos. We got a playlist. We do a lot of booster box, collector box, pack openings. We also do a lot here in MTG Arena between different drafts, sealed events, and those kinds of things. So be sure to stay tuned, check back. Wednesdays and Saturdays is the upload cadence for Magic the Gathering. Typically Wednesdays are openings, and then Saturdays draft, games, and or sealed MTG Arena stuff that's going on. So thank you so much for checking this one out. I've been Doc. We are the Average Gamer Guys. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one. Peace.